Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to what is apparently the beginnings of a new series. It's Podium Hunt.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
It's Podium Hunt. I did this last week and I really enjoyed doing it, so I thought this week I've already done a track guide in the past for Montreal, so let's just do another Podium Hunt. As you can see on screen now, we've got the track conditions. Again, didn't qualify. Well, I qualified, but very slowly. So I'm starting P12, and I'm excited, a little bit nervous because I haven't done much practice. So we'll just see what happens. Again, the goal here is to try and show you guys how I race, what goes through my mind. Hopefully you can pick some useful bits of information up there and it's not just absolute waffle. We'll see what happens. Starting P12, trying to avoid the carnage on the first lap, and then working my way through the field. Let's see. As you can see, there's the times, the quali times there, 1:53.8 from P1, which is very good from what I understand. Again, I haven't done any low fuel runs. I haven't done any quali runs. I did one practice lap, and I ended up in the Wall of Champions. So yeah, obviously we've still got the setup. I have changed it from the previous track guide. I will edit that video, I guess, put it in the description, a link to the new setup. Only slight differences just to make it easier for me to drive. So yeah, there's that in both metric and imperial as always. Yes, it's about time we grid up. We're looking around at the people next to me on the grid. We've got Andrea Bristot behind me and Alexander Scarrett. No idea if I'm saying that right, probably not. 3.2k and 1.9k I rating for the pair of them. I obviously stand to lose 82 I rating. I know I rating isn't the be all and end all, but I do like to try and bump my numbers up when I can. Let's get ready to launch this baby. Flipping the clutch there, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. It's just a little habit I've got from the games I've played in the past. So going into turn 1, I'm thinking I'm going to stick to the outside, because then it gives me the inside for turn 2, way on the outside, and then there's carnage up front, just slam on the brakes. Unfortunately, I get clipped in the rear. My rear wing is damaged. What can you do? It's one of those things. I think looking back, probably could have just gone on the grass and just tried to avoid it. Needs to be looking a lot further ahead. But it's one of those things that happens when you start from the rear of the grid. So not that phased by it, as long as I can keep my car going. You know, this guy in front, he's got some damage. I'm being very, very passive right now. I just want to feel my car out, feel whether it's going to completely go under braking or what. Now, thankfully, he lets me by, so even after that horrendous start, we're up to P8 already. Now there's a gap, about a second, Race Lab apps are saying, probably a bit more than that, to Bunter Peterson. And I'm confident, you know, again, looking at the I rating, 2.1k, I know, again, it doesn't speak for anything, you know, Hunter could be one of the best racers in the world, but just on the face of it, trying to simplify everything, I should be able to catch him. But because nothing's really going to happen now until we get close to Hunter, let's roll it forward. So as you can see at the start of the very next lap, we are right on the tail of Alexander now. Hunter managed to make it by Alexander, so Alexander's dropped down a spot. Less than a second, we're in the draft. It's all about just taking it nice and easy, because he's just hit the wall. We're just going to battle. That's all we need to do, is just take it easy, and we should catch up. This turn is notoriously difficult to brake for. I find I'm always locking up, so I just try and keep it smooth, drop it down to first, keep it nice and tight. Because I'm in the draft, I don't need to worry about exit speed as much as I normally would, because that draft is going to drag me up to the rear. So if I get through that turn as quick as I can, it's beneficial in my mind. Very difficult right left here again. I'm properly sending it there, as you can see, taking a whole load of curb on the inside. It's quite risky doing that because you can damage your car, you can spin, and you can always get a slowdown. So immediately, side by side with Alexander into the hairpin, I'm just going to send it. I'm just going to park it on the inside and then try and use the draft of Hunter. Fortunately, Alexander has given me enough space. He's given me the room to race, so that's fantastic. Cheers, mate. Hunter now, how much quicker am I going to be in his draft? Am I going to send it going into the final chicane? Am I going to end up in the Wall of Champions? It looks like you know, he's given me the opportunity. I'm buying before I even need to think about braking, so it's fantastic. It's still a little bit offline, so it's mega sketchy, as you can see there, just a bit of counter steer. We managed to pull it off, and then I'm thinking about Pablo now. I know that I've caught Hunter, I know that I've passed Hunter. Let's just eyes forward, he says, whilst he properly send it up the inside. Wow, okay, so Alexander, right, it looked like it was double overtake. I mean, I messed up my braking because I saw that happen in the mirror, so I lost the back end a little bit. That could have been really, really bad. And again, you know, just as I'm saying, I'm about to do one thing, I do something completely different. Top quality YouTube content. About 3 seconds to Pablo now, so I'm going to have to roll it forward. It's just going to be me hunting Pablo down. Boring. And so we're just about to head on to lap 6 now, coming into the last chicane, and it looks as though Pablo's made it past Dan, or Dan Schuring. So he's my next target. I can see that I'm going to close the gap on Dan a bit quicker than Pablo. Pablo seems as though he's got a bit more about him, a bit more raw pace. But Dan, I think I've got him. Just eye him up going into this first turn. Yeah, I mean, he counter-steered. I've just gained all sorts of time. So it's not going to be mega easy because obviously he's up towards the pointy end of the grid, so he is going to have a bit of a race about him. But I think I've got him definitely. You know, this first section, he's all over the place. I just need to keep it nice and smooth. What I might do is I'm going to talk through the rest of this lap. So this awkward left-hander, brake just after the tyre mark start, down to first gear, clip the inside curb and ease on the power, then up to second as you transition to the right-hander, and then just keep it smooth, up to third, because I'm in the draft, nice and easy stuff. Heading into this next right-left, brake just after the grass on the end ends, there we go, down to second gear, trail brake, clip the curb, ease on the power, up to third as you're on the other curb, rip that visor off, and we're up to fourth. The hairpin, we're in fifth gear as we brake for the hairpin. My braking point changes every single lap. I'd say the 2 board is a good one to aim for, all the way down to first gear, bleed off the brakes, get on the power as soon as possible, especially if you're in draft, because if you're on the power, you're going to be, even if you take a wide line and lose time, you're going to have a higher top speed down this entire straight, and the draft's just going to make that even better. So now we are well and truly within Dan's draft, 0.3 behind him, 0.4 it's flickering. I'm going to take it easy going through the final turn here because it's absolutely lethal. He's ran wide, and oh my god, I absolutely shit myself then. I absolutely pooed myself then. But we made the pass Dan. Now it's a further 3 seconds to Daniel. I just need to watch out for Dan trying to make a move on me. I think if I was him, I wouldn't be too happy with that. I'd want to try and defend my position a bit better. So let's see. Do the turn 3, 4, braking down to second gear, clip the curb on the inside, just ease on the power. I like to lift and shift to third as I'm transitioning from the right to left. I feel like the lift steadies my car, the shift more stable, if that makes sense, because I'm not on the power when I'm shifting, and then when I'm in third gear there's less chance of the wheels spinning, so it's nice and smooth, nice and steady, and 9 times out of 10 in these races it's better to be smooth and consistent than it is to be out and out rapid, because especially on this track you'll just end up in the wall. And just taking a bite out of that curve, I did slow down a bit too much. If you look on my rear view mirror there, Dan's right on my tailpipe. But look at this lovely group of cars up ahead. It's a top 4. I'm surprised they're still that close, and I really want to get involved in that race because it looks like there's a first place up for grabs. Let's roll this baby forward. Now here we are, halfway through lap 8. We are 1.1 seconds behind Daniel. They're getting all racy up front. It looks like P1 Victor has gone, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, there's still 3 places up for grabs up ahead. I'm within the draft of Daniel, coming up to the hairpin, which means this long straight's just after it. Let's see how we take this. Nice and easy. Look how much I've gained just because they're so close together. They're going to slow each other up. Their braking's not going to be as good as mine just on my own. So now we're within a second. This draft is going to pull me right up to Daniel. And as long as I don't absolutely butcher final chicane, the Wall of Champions, we should be able to make a move on lap 9. Well, that's the idea. Depends how respectful I am. A little bit deep into the last turn there, sort of missed the curb on the inside. I think that's because that's the first time I've been so close to someone the entire race going into that turn, so not good enough, but we'll see how this pans out. Braking nice and early, missing the apex. Nearly going into the back of Daniel there, but as you can see I am right on his tailpipe now, so it's looking good, even though I'm making mistakes. So if I just eradicate them, you know, P1's mine. That being said, we are running out of laps, lap 9 off 12. It's been a fairly eventful race. I just hope we can make these couple of positions. And I need to get this podium. So as you can see, they're just taking it nice and tight on that left-hander. First gear, that's definitely the way to do it, especially when you're in draft. And I know I'm just going to be cruising up to him now. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, get through this right-left, try and make a move on the hairpin. If that doesn't work, if I'm not close enough, then try and do him on the straight before the final turn. So, been keeping on pace there. 0.2, 0.3. Again, Ivan ahead of him is gonna mess up Daniel's entry. I'm just trying to take it nice and easy. Looks like Ivan has completely messed up Daniel's entry. And let's see what happens here. Got a bit of side draft off Daniel. I'm trying to get some draft off Ivan, and as he comes across, he's helping me there. See, I'm starting to pull away from Daniel, but then he cuts back across, and now he's helping Daniel out, which is really, really great racing from Ivan, because it means me and Daniel are going to have a battle going into this last turn, and Ivan is just going to pull away. So I'm very stubborn. I'm on the inside. I know I'm going to make that turn 100%. So down to second gear because I haven't got quite the same line as normal. And just take it nice and, well, as smooth as I can. Just park my car on the apex, make sure there's no room for Daniel. And there we have it, we're up to P4. Again, I'd like to say great racing by Ivan. Very, very smart and very intelligent. But now we're going to chase him down. That's it. Ivan, your ass is grass. Already through the first sector. Made up some time. 0.6 behind him. If I can get this awkward left, nice. So braking down to second gear. Then actually first, that's a lie. I've said first all bloody race. And yeah, I mean, we're keeping within the 0.6, although Race Lab Apps has just updated 0.5. But it doesn't know, can't make his mind up really, can he? Under that curb, lovely stuff, up to third. Now this is it, again, same dilemma. Do I make a move on the hairpin? Personally, no, I'm not close enough. I'd have to wait, he'd have to make a massive mistake for me to do that. So I'm thinking, get a good exit, try and line him up for the last chicane, and be mega brave. I wouldn't always recommend the last chicane because obviously there's only really one line there and you will end up in the wall if your opponent doesn't give you enough respect or you don't give your opponent enough respect. If you can get the move done early, then definitely do it. But as you can see, we're halfway down the straight and I'm already making the move. Backs out, I'm not confident enough to cut in front of him, so I compromise my line. Now that's a little bit infuriating because whilst I've made the move up to P3, which is fantastic, that's my goal, to make the podium, I've let Victor get away a little bit. So, you know, Race Lab Apps are saying between 1.7 and, I mean, just flick it to 2.2 seconds there. So if I was a bit more confident and I cut back across in front of Ivan before the chicane, I would have lost less time. And I just, you know, my goal is to get in Victor's draft as soon as possible, because when I do that, I know I'm quicker than him, because obviously I've started P12, he started right at the pointy end, and I'm behind him now, so a little bit of frustration, but you know, it's racing. You can't always get everything right, and you need to learn from your mistakes. Go through the awkward left, up to second. We are below 2 seconds now on race lap apps consistently, so I am gaining time on him. Last lap I was 0.7 of a second quicker than him, so time's there, definitely. Again, it's just, we're on lap 11 of 12, so time's there. Oh, that's completely wrong. The speed is there, but the time isn't. Also, I've got to watch out for Ivan, because obviously he's still within my draft, and if I was Ivan, I would. Thinking, I do not want to finish in P4 after that race. As we saw earlier on, they were so condensed, and he could have, you know, it's reasonable to say he could have finished P1 with how close everyone was. So now to be finishing P4, not even on the podium, I personally would be fuming. But I'm mega competitive, as I nearly lose it, nearly going to the Wall of Champions, had to lift loads and counter steer there. But yeah, as I'm mega competitive and a bit of a sore loser, to be honest with you, I'd be thinking I'm making a move. It's the final lap, just go for it. So I'm sort of trying to think ahead to Victor, try and be positive, also need to have Ivan in the back of my mind, because he is still within striking distance. Go through turn 3 and 4 here, down to second, ease on the power, up to third, lovely stuff. Feel like we gained a little bit there on Victor, might just be in my mind, but felt good that. Way down to second, nice and tight, ease on the power, baby. Ivan is looking like he's getting closer. I need to make sure that this right left has been the hardest right left, I'd say, for me to get quick. I seem to slow down a bit too much going into it, and yeah, Ivan's gained on me there. So I am under pressure from Ivan. I know that this is a spot where you can make an overtake. So what am I going to do? I take a very shallow line to make sure he doesn't send it. And now I'm praying that the draft is there, which it is, thankfully. Victor, you beauty. Within 1.2 seconds. I believe that's still the draft. Might have changed, but that's what I go with. But I'm under a second anyway. So if we just look at the splits there, Ivan is getting a little bit closer, but I'm going to pull away as well. It's easy stuff. We're going into the last turn. He's just not near enough. He would have to be an absolute fool to do that. And there we have it. We make it through. Lovely, lovely stuff. P3. That's 2 podium hunts and 2 podiums somehow. I don't know. I'm really made up with that, to be honest with you. Fastest lap went to Pablo with a 1:52.9, which is rapid. Yeah, congratulations, Pablo, on your victory. I got a 1:53.3. Not too bad, especially considering I had that aero damage on the rear. Moving forward, next week, let's do a bit more practice, shall we? Let's see if we can go from the back of the grid, P1. Do it. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like, or even better, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends about it, and I'll catch you guys next time.